Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Beachside Podcast channel. I am your host, the HOD of the BSB. As usual, like, share, comment on this video, subscribe to the channel, enable notifications to receive all the updates of this podcast episodes and other content on the channel. Of course, follow us on social media. I'm at BSB on Twitter, Beachside Pod on Instagram. And you can listen to this on Spotify, Google Podcasts, or any other platform. So let's start with, of course, the news roundup as usual with what happened in the world of football in the last 24 hours. And of course, we cannot start from another place but Bayern Munich, where Alaba, apparently signed a deal with Real Madrid for 4 years. That's according to Marca, certainly. The Austrian spending 13 years in the Bundesliga, of course, winning, the Champions League and all of that with Bayern Munich twice, but certainly he has, been wanting to leave the club for quite a while now, with City, Chelsea, Liverpool, United and PSG all amongst the elite clubs monitoring the 28-year-old. But in the end, Real Madrid were known to be the favourites and have wasted no time in securing Alaba's signature after January 1st threshold, with Marca reporting that he has agreed a 4-year stay at the Bernabeu. Apparently, the defender is set to have an £11 million salary per year, which has already completed his Real Madrid medical, with, of course, the Real Madrid understanding really well Alaba's value. Now, probably the way that this deal is going to be panned out financially maybe doesn't help Real Madrid exactly, considering that they are, strapped for cash. Really is the fact that they still, fixing and still sort of renewing their Santiago Bernabeu stadium, but also, it will be a big deal for them in terms of playing situation, as Sergio Ramos seems to be leaving. Alaba, of course, undoubtedly one of the world's best centre-backs at the moment, bagged his second Champions League, of course, with Bayern Munich, and continued to be a crucial player this season, and will be a big miss, but will slot in nicely to Madrid's backline and could be considered a successor for Sergio Ramos. This is definitely going to be a huge miss for Bayern, but it will be a big win for Real Madrid as well. Moving on, and some quick hits from the action yesterday, which is in the Premier League, starting with Arsenal, of course. Finally, Aubameyang scoring in the 3-0 win for Arsenal against Newcastle. It was rough for around 45 to 50 minutes before Aubameyang opened the scoring, thanks to a pass from Emil Smith-Rowe in the 50th minute, despite missing like a big chance where he just hit the post from a very tight angle in the first half, opened the scoring, firing past Carl Darlow. Then, of course, Emil Smith-Rowe pulled back, brilliant ball to Saka to score the second goal, brilliant finish for 2-0. Then Aubameyang got the brace after the assist from Cedric Suarez. This now makes it 29 goals for all competitions for Aubameyang in goal competitions since last season, including 22 in the Premier League. But he had previously struggled for goals this season. Of course, this double took his league total to 5 for the campaign finally, and Mikel Arteta was obviously pleased to see Aubameyang return to form. He said before that he needed the confidence to be successful, and he needs that for the team. And he says we were missing his goals, and he says we will all know that he can score them, and he will be back for the team. Miguel Almiron had Newcastle's best chance, but the shot was over from the edge of the penalty box, and it was goalless. This victory would take Arsenal above Aston Villa into 10th, with the Gunners 7 points adrift of 4th place Liverpool in the last Champions League qualifying spot. This is kind of the change really from where they were a couple of months ago, but still they have a lot of work to do if they want a top 4 finish. From England to Italy now, and Cagliari losing to AC Milan 2-0. Of course, it was the Zlatan Ibrahimovic show, obviously, with him picking up all the 3 points for them via 2 goals. This was his first start since November 22nd, of course, when he picked up the injury against Napoli and held them out of action for the past couple of months. He wasted no time in getting back to winning goals, really, converting a 7th minute penalty before adding a well-taken goal 7 minutes into the second half, taking Serie A goal tally for 12 for the season just from 7 starts. Imagine that. He only started 7 games and he scored 12. This is incredible for him. The only disappointing aspect really was the late dismissal and the red card seen by Alexis Salamakis for 2 yellow cards pick it up in quick successions. 43 points now for Milan, 3 ahead of rivals Inter Milan and 10 clear of the champions Juve. This is a crucial point of the season. It's literally halfway point, so it's probably very important for Milan to keep that sort of gap going between them and their rivals. Cagliari remain at 17th, just 1 point above the relegation zone. Let's go now to still in Italy actually, and Inter Milan plans some historic name and logo change on anniversary amid really a bad cash crisis. That is according to that is according to La Gazzetta dello Sport, saying that Inter Milan are going to be, changing their name from Football Club Internazionale Milano to simply Inter Milano. The move, of course, is designed to reflect closer connection with Italy's capital and give the club a clearer and more modern global identity. Is planned for March 9th, of course, exactly 113 years after the club came into existence, according to La Gazzetta dello Sport. A new crest also will be unveiled coming after Juventus opted to change their own in 2017 with Lukaku among those who have modelled the new look. The change has been a while in the making and is set to go ahead despite the monetary pressures facing the club due to the COVID pandemic. The Italian giants look to take on new investors with British private equity from BC partners among those being considered. Amid unrest, really, the wage payments for players have not been met on several occasions. It's a period of great upheaval for Inter. Evergrande are also on the ball to replace Pirelli as the team's main sponsor, while the San Siro is set to be demolished and replaced by a brand new stadium on the site in due course. This is some crazy changes going to be happening to Inter in the next couple of months, probably years. Certainly changing the crest and the name will be the less worrying thing for those fans, really. The fact that the payments are not there, the wages are not being paid, it's not exactly filling them with hope and joy. Still in Italy, and we're talking about Juventus now. Andrea Pirlo is not about to call time on Juventus' Serie A title hopes, despite fuming at the way they ceded control to Inter in a damaging defeat on Sundays. Juve are now 7 points behind leaders Milan and Inter, and of course, and now 10 as Milan defeated Cagliari. Of course, he said that we got the attitude wrong from the beginning. When you don't have the anger and the determination to try and win duels in these matches, it becomes difficult. We were too passive, he said. It was a bad defeat. We didn't expect it, and he said we didn't have had a worse match than this one. But now we have to raise our hands because we will play a final on Wednesday, of course, that is being the Supercoppa Italiana against Napoli on Wednesday. Despite his frustration, he didn't dismiss the title challenge for Juventus, saying the coach is always wrong, and because it is he who gives all the directions, I take my responsibility for the team, and I understand what we had to do. He said our ambitions remain the same. It's a misstep against an important team, but it's a long journey, and there has to be some missteps. Lastly, of course, we close out with actually how long, of course, Messi will be banned for. Reports are all suggesting that will be between 4 to 12 games according to the laws of La Liga, which will mean that Messi probably is going to miss a big important chunk of the season if it goes to 12 matches or that. I don't think so. I think it will be around 4 matches at the very best, but still it will be a huge blow for Barcelona after losing the Super Cup against the Athletic Club Bilbao. Finishing actually with something weird, I think, coming from Italy, and Arturo Vidal saying that he did not kiss the Juventus badge before Sunday night's derby d'Italia, of course claiming it was just a demonstration of affection to for Giorgio Chiellini. Of course, it was criticised after the footage from before the game showed him appearing to kiss the badge on former club of Chiellini's warm-up top. Certainly, it looked the case really, and certainly could easily make the case that it was, but in my opinion, I would take it as a show of affection for Chiellini. They were teammates between 2011 and 2015 at Juve, and of course, they helped the club win 4 Serie A titles before Vidal left to Bayern Munich. It's time now to check the calendar, of course, and midweek doesn't mean that there is no action. Certainly this season, midweeks are full of action almost on a weekly basis, really. And this midweek is no different. And we started from the Bundesliga as we kick off the round 17. Of course, Mönchengladbach hosting Werder Bremen, of course, early on. Mainz hosting Wolfsburg, Hertha Berlin hosting Hoffenheim, and Bayer Leverkusen hosting Borussia Dortmund in probably the game of the week in the Bundesliga. Of course, on Wednesday as well, it is Schalke, Cologne, Arminia Bielefeld, Stuttgart, Augsburg hosting Bayern Munich, Freiburg hosting Frankfurt, and Leipzig hosting Union Berlin. This is quite the big fixture for Bayer Leverkusen and Borussia Dortmund. Certainly it will have huge implications for the top table spots. Certainly Bayer Leverkusen and Borussia Dortmund will not want to lose more points. For them, of course, Dortmund probably less damage in the last couple of weeks than Leverkusen are, because Leverkusen are now 4 winless games. Really, they cannot afford another defeat or another draw against Borussia Dortmund, who would want also to pick momentum ahead of the rest of the season. For Bayern Munich, of course, it's a game where they need to bounce back to continue the the good momentum from the victory against Freiburg. Hard it may it be, of course, a very hard trip to the Bavarian region to face Augsburg as well, a Bavarian derby in its own right. In the Premier League, and the midweek action is sparse. Really, it's not exactly focused on one round. Man City are going to be hosting Aston Villa tomorrow, but before that, West Ham face West Brom today, and of course, in a major game for Frank Lampard, it is Leicester City hosting Chelsea at the King Power Stadium. Now, this game certainly would be a sort of a metric for Chelsea, a real test for them this season. Certainly after a hard win against Fulham away from home, it probably is the metric. Leicester now are second on the table, 35 points behind Man United, joint with Man City on 35 points, and they're really having a great season. I mean, they're having a better season than they ever thought they would, really, considering that he's still second now, and they're really close to Man United, not exactly far. Probably the loser of last weekend's action, probably Liverpool. They regressed to 4th, but again, the top table and the Premier League race is still pretty wide open. As far as everyone is concerned, it could be extended even to Tottenham, really, and maybe Southampton even, who knows. On Wednesday, as we mentioned, Man City face Aston Villa and Fulham face Man United in what could be a serious banana skin for Manchester United, because if anything, we saw Fulham against Chelsea sitting deep and hitting on the counter, and they could do that, really. And they could even hit them, on quick attacks behind their midfielders, because there is some space behind the United midfield. Usually it exists, really. It's going to be a banana skin. It's going to be hard for United to deal with, and let's see how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer deals with this game against Fulham. Hopefully for him, I mean, both Manchester side plays on the same night. If United slip, and City could potentially go top of the table heading into that fixture. I mean, they could take the top spot before United face Fulham, which is going to be only more pressure for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and his side. Liverpool face Burnley. That is on Thursday, of course, for round 18. It's certainly. I mean, this is a game also is going to be a tough test as well for Manchester United, and this is a clear-cut test of what they need to do. They need to score, they need to get goals, they need to find spaces, because they know that Burnley is exactly is a rough side, and a side that will not relinquish goals and will give away goals pretty cheaply. Liverpool have struggled in the last 4 games or so, not scoring a lot. Scoring only once in the last 4 is pretty horrible, considering considering the front line that they have and the players that they have in the midfield as well. It doesn't seem exactly good. It doesn't seem exactly the best time to face a side like Burnley, who really dogged and a side that likes defending and encumbering behind the ball really. Moving on, and in Spain, 6 matches are going to be taking place from round 19. Of course, the rest of that round, Valladolid is going to face in Elche, Cadiz is going to face Levante, Alaves hosting Sevilla, Getafe facing Huesca, Betis facing Celta, Villarreal facing Granada, Valencia facing Osasuna, that is on Thursday, and Eibar facing Atletico on Thursday. If you're asking, of course, where's Real Madrid and Barcelona, that's because they're going to be in action in Copa. They're going to be action in Copa del Rey, not in the league this midweek. They played, of course, their respective fixtures against Real Sociedad and Athletic Bilbao, the same clubs that they faced in the Super Cup, and all those 4 are in action in Copa del Rey on Thursday. On Wednesday and Thursday, it will be Cordoba facing Real Sociedad, Alcoyano hosting Real Madrid on Wednesday, and on Thursday it will be Ibiza hosting Athletic Club, and Cornellà, of course, the team that eliminated Atletico Madrid from the Cup, facing Barcelona. Moving on, and from La Liga to Serie A, of course, midweek action only. Udinese and Atalanta in a rescheduled match from round 10. This match wasn't played because of the bad weather, but certainly we need to look forward to this weekend's action in Serie A. Certainly on Saturday it will be Milan Atalanta, Udinese Inter, Roma Spezia and Fiorentina Crotone, and on Sunday Juventus Bologna, Verona Napoli, Genoa Cagliari, Lazio Sassuolo and Parma Sampdoria. Let's finish the episode and listening, of course. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you're new, enable notifications to receive all the updates. I'm outside PSP on Twitter, page Sideboard on Instagram. You can listen to the podcast on Spotify, Google Podcasts, or any other platform. I was your boy, the HOD of the PSP, and until the next time, you'll see me soon. Goodbye.